Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mystery Insight. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most secretive and dangerous countries in the world, North Korea. North Korea is a totalitarian state ruled by a single family, the Kims. The current leader, Kim Jong-un, is a ruthless dictator who has been accused of human rights abuses, including the use of concentration camps. Life in North Korea is incredibly difficult. The country is poor, food is scarce, and the people are constantly under surveillance. Those who dare to speak out against the government are often punished severely. So, why would anyone want to live in North Korea? The answer is simple: they don't. Many North Koreans dream of escaping the country, but it's incredibly difficult. The borders are heavily guarded, and those who are caught trying to escape are often sent to prison or even executed. But there are a few who have managed to escape North Korea. These people have risked their lives to come to the outside world, and their stories are truly inspiring. In this video, we'll hear from some of the brave people who have escaped North Korea. We'll learn about their experiences, and we'll get a glimpse of what life is like in this secretive and dangerous country. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. North Korean escapees are drawn to South Korea because the South Korean government has a policy of welcoming all North Koreans, regardless of their reason for leaving. Escapees are granted residency and given access to a variety of social services, including education, job training, and housing. As a result, South Korea is the destination of choice for most North Korean escapees. The demilitarized zone, DMZ, is the shortest and most dangerous way to escape North Korea and enter South Korea. It is a heavily guarded border between the two countries, and anyone who tries to cross without permission is likely to be shot. Despite the risks, the DMZ is the most popular route for North Korean escapees, who are drawn to South Korea by its promise of freedom and opportunity. On a fine morning, a man named Oh Chong-song got into his car and drove to the border of North and South Korea. He knew that he was taking a risk, but he was desperate to escape the oppressive regime. As he got closer to the border, he saw that there were no soldiers in sight. He accelerated, hoping to make it across before anyone could stop him. But just as he was about to reach the border, the car slipped on a patch of ice and the tire punctured. Oh Chong-song jumped out of the car and ran towards the border. He was shot 4 times, but he kept running. He was determined to make it to South Korea, even if it meant dying. Finally, he reached the border and jumped over the fence. He was seriously injured, but he was safe. He had escaped North Korea. Oh Chong-song was hospitalized for several months, but he eventually made a full recovery. He is now living in South Korea, where he is free to live his life as he pleases. He is grateful for his escape, and he knows that he was lucky to survive. In 2017, 2 North Koreans tried to escape their country by sea. They knew it would be a dangerous journey, but they were desperate to leave. The 2 men traveled for 1 day and 1 night to reach Yuho-rik Beach. They knew that this was the best place to try to escape, as it was far from the North Korean Navy. They both jumped into the sea and began to swim. When they were halfway across when their life jackets started to deflate. They tried to use the air pump, but it was broken. They both were scared. They knew that if they didn't find a way to stay afloat, they would drown. They decided to throw their life jackets away and use their backpacks to float. They swam for hours. They were exhausted and starting to lose hope. But then, they saw something in the distance. It was an island. They swam as fast as they could. They reached the island and collapsed on the beach. They were safe. The men hid in the bushes until the North Korean Navy ship passed by. Once the ship was gone, the men slept for the night. The next morning, the men woke up and started swimming again. They swam for hours until they finally reached South Korea. The men were greeted by South Korean soldiers. They were safe and free. The other way to escape North Korea is via the North Korean border with Russia. The military presence is much lighter on this border, so many people prefer to escape this way. The border is also only about 17 kilometers long, which makes it even easier to cross. However, there is a catch. If a person escapes North Korea and enters Russia, the Russian government will send them back to North Korea. So, as soon as they cross the border, they need to run to the South Korean embassy as quickly as possible without being caught by the Russian army. Once they reach the embassy, the South Korean government will help them to resettle in South Korea. This is a dangerous and difficult journey, and it is not always successful. But for those who are able to escape, it is a chance to start a new life in freedom. As a result, North Koreans who want to escape their country often try to cross the border into China. The border between North Korea and China is 1,300 kilometers long, so it is difficult for the North Korean government to patrol it effectively. This makes it relatively easy for North Koreans to cross the border into China. However, there are still risks involved in crossing the border into China. If a North Korean is caught by Chinese authorities, they will be sent back to North Korea. This is a dangerous and uncertain fate, as North Koreans who are sent back to their country often face punishment or even death. There are a few ways for North Koreans to avoid being sent back to their country after crossing the border into China. One way is to cross the border in a remote area where there are few Chinese authorities. Another way is to cross the border with the help of a broker. Brokers are people who help North Koreans cross the border into China for a fee. The cost of crossing the border with a broker is high, but it is often the only way for North Koreans to escape their country safely. Once they have crossed the border, North Koreans can seek asylum at the South Korean embassy in China. If they are granted asylum, they will be able to move to South Korea and start a new life. In 2004, a group of 44 North Korean refugees disguised themselves as painters and successfully entered the South Korean embassy in Beijing, China. They were granted asylum and were able to safely travel to South Korea. This event caused the Chinese government to take action to prevent future escapes. They increased security around the South Korean embassy and stationed armed guards outside. The escape of these 44 refugees is a reminder of the desperate conditions in North Korea and the lengths that people will go to in order to escape. It is also a reminder of the importance of the South Korean embassy in Beijing as a safe haven for North Korean refugees. The Gobi Desert is one of the most dangerous places in the world to try to escape from North Korea. The desert is vast and unforgiving, and it is home to dangerous animals and insects. To escape North Korea, refugees must first cross the Chinese border. This is a dangerous journey, as Chinese authorities are known to detain and repatriate North Korean refugees. Once refugees have crossed the Chinese border, they must then cross the Gobi Desert. This is a long and difficult journey, and it is not uncommon for refugees to die of dehydration or exposure. If refugees are able to cross the Gobi Desert, they will then need to convince the Mongolian military to let them into the country. The Mongolian military is often reluctant to help North Korean refugees, as they do not want to anger the Chinese government. However, there have been a few cases where the Mongolian military has allowed North Korean refugees to enter the country. In these cases, the refugees have been granted asylum in South Korea. The story of two North Korean refugees who escaped through the Gobi Desert is a testament to the human spirit. These refugees were willing to risk their lives in order to escape the oppressive regime in North Korea. They are now living in South Korea, where they are free to live their lives in peace. The last and final way to escape North Korea is through Thailand. However, it is very difficult to reach Thailand because it is so far away. First, refugees must escape to China and take many trains to reach the city of Kunming. From there, many buses go to South Asian countries, but refugees must be careful not to get caught by the army. Even if they escape and get on the bus, there is another challenge. The bus will first stop in Laos before continuing to Thailand. Refugees must get off the bus in Laos as quickly as possible and cross the forest to the Thai border. In 2017, a family of 4 named Park decided to escape North Korea. They sent their daughter to South Korea first to earn money and establish a life for herself. Then, the father contacted a broker and they both went to China. After taking many trains, they reached Kunming. They boarded a bus to Laos, but they were caught by the police. The father was arrested and sent to jail, but the son escaped. He crossed the forest of Laos and reached the Thai border. He went to the South Korean embassy and told them his story. The embassy helped him and he was sent to South Korea, where he was granted South Korean citizenship. He is now living happily in South Korea with his sister. The stories of people who have escaped North Korea are inspiring and heartbreaking. We should learn is that we should not take freedom as granted. Thank you for watching.